The SCAR, or Special Operations Force Combat Assault Rifle, was born from the United States military program to replace the M4, M16, M14, Mark 11, Mark 12, and Mark 18 rifles. From this, FN created two of the top candidates, the SCAR-L and H. The H variant, meaning heavy, was designed to be a battle rifle chambered in the 7.62 by 51 NATO round and has been loved by the United States Special Forces such as Navy SEALs, MARSOC Raiders, and Army Rangers alike. What we have here today is the fully licensed FN SCAR-H by Cybergun. It seems like a while ago Tim did a video of a gun that looks strangely familiar. I wonder what that was.
Hey guys, Tim here of RedWolf TV. Guess what? Here it is in black.
Anyways, getting back to business, let's see if this one is the definitive version of that highly sought after battle rifle from FN. Hi guys, the wait is over and the hype is so real. Look at this thing, it's so beautiful. The fully licensed FN SCAR-H by Cybergun. Now, being a fully licensed gun, we can expect to find the correct markings on the upper receiver. However, Cybergun did add the 6mm caliber and the license by FN Herstal on the upper receiver. Small gripes, but they had to do it for import regulations for Europe and the United States. However, let's go into how the gun actually feels and functions. The finishing on this gun is really nice, and just like the real gun, it is two-toned. The other one that looks strangely familiar to this gun, that one's upper receiver was more gold than this one's actual tan. So color-wise, this one is very spot on. The other thing you'll notice that compared to other SCARs I've handled out there, this one is not so front heavy. And it doesn't really want to drive you down a lot when you're trying to pick up this gun. Very nice, good balance towards the front. From the front of the gun, you'll find the flash hider with the threads on the bottom, just like the real one. You can remove the flash hider to expose its 14mm CCW threads for your Marck suppressors as well. From that, you come up to the Marck gas block to reveal the Trox, or the star-shaped key. You can release some of the bolts on the rails and the upper receiver. From the Trox and the fake gas block, you get the flip-up front sight and rear sight as well. The gun comes with rails on the sides and on the bottom and a super long monolithic rail on the top. The hop-up adjuster is placed at a super convenient spot right here on the bottom at the end of the bottom rail. You can easily adjust it with a flathead screwdriver or a coin. Thank God it's so convenient. The charging handle right now is on the left side of the gun and it is reciprocating. That means every time you pull the trigger, it would come back. However, we can move that to the right side of the gun and we'll show you how to do that when we take it down. Second thing we want to talk about is the controls. All the controls are ambidextrous with only the bolt release on this left side here. It is worth noting that the magazine is pretty stiff in there. It's not going to allow you to do mag drops. So even if I hold open the magazine release, it's not going to fall out. This provides great gas sealing. So if you do want to have it loosen up a little bit, you might have to do a little bit of filing or it'll loosen up over time. The gun itself features a 90-degree fire selector with safe on the very bottom and full auto at the very top. In the middle, you'll find semi-automatic fire. The selector itself is a little stiff, but what that does is it prevents you from accidentally going on full auto in the heat of the moment. The trigger itself is short stroke and a little heavy, but the reset itself doesn't sound the most crisp, but still it's very pronounced and very feelable in your hand. The moment you fire and allow it to reset, you can definitely feel it. Moving to the rear, you have the stock. It's a 6-position collapsible stock, so this is it fully extended. Then you have the cheek riser with the lowest setting, middle setting, and then top setting. So 3 settings for the cheek riser. The stock can also collapse to the side, as you can see. A little stiff being a new gun, but the more you use it, I'm sure it will start to wear in a little bit, making the collapsing function a little easier. As GBBRs go, you're going to have to give this gun a little bit of TLC, meaning you're going to have to take it apart for cleaning and lubing every time you play with it. So to do that, what you're going to do, first remove the magazine, then you're going to remove this pin right here. It is a little stiff, so you're going to have to use a few tools to take it out. What I have here today are my tools. I'm going to put a cloth over the pin so I don't scratch it, find it, and then just hammer it out. So after the pin is removed, you're going to want to pull down and out. And there's your lower receiver. With your lower receiver, you'll see all the trigger groups right here. After that, to remove the stock, all you got to do is push it down, and then you can remove your recoil spring. You can remove the buffer, and there is your upper receiver. Earlier we talked about being able to change the charging handle to the other side, and now is the part where you can do it. All you need to do is pull back, pull out the charging handle, and place it in. That's all you got to do. Being a GBBR, it's no fun if we don't get to show you guys how the recoil feels, so we're going to do just that. Couple shots on semi-auto, couple bursts, full auto. You guys can then see the gas efficiency of this gun as well as how hard the gun kicks. Semi-auto first. Bolt locks back very well. The recoil is very felt. Straight back. Feels good. Very satisfying recoil, and it leaves a nice ringing note at the end too. Let's do a couple bursts. Very good on semi-auto. Now full auto. Burst fire, I'm going to try 3 or 4. Very satisfying. Now I'm just going to do a maybe 1 or 2 second burst on full auto, and that's how it goes. Oops. Not bad at all. So the recoil test was really nice, and now let's do a gas efficiency test and see how efficient this magazine will be. What I'm going to do is I'm going to fill this thing completely full, and let's see how many times I can run this magazine without refilling the mag. Apparently this mag holds only 24 rounds, very close to the real gun, which only holds 20. Let's see how many times we can shoot 24 without refilling the magazine with gas. Full mag, fully loaded and fully gassed. What we're going to do now is we're going to take a couple shots, and to ensure realism, I'll have a couple of semi-auto shots, a couple of bursts, and a couple of full autos. Let's see how the gas efficiency is. That was 1. Reloading. That's 2, and might I say, that recoil is glorious. Reloading again. This mag right now is icy cold. How about we go full auto all the way? It cleared it all. 3 mags. And the mag is really cold right now. I need to put it down. I really hope that dispelled any doubt with the gas efficiency of this gun. All right, back to business. Let's chrono this gun using 0.2 gram BBs and green gas. And it shoots at an average of about 360 FPS. Now that we know the SCAR-H is no slouch, let's see how accurate this gun really is. Once again, we're back here at the warehouse, standing 30 meters away, or roughly 98 feet away from our target, and let's see how the gun performs. What I have helping me today is the RWA 2x10 first focal scope. The gun has some pretty significant recoil, so you're going to have to make sure you keep a firm grip to the front end of your gun so it doesn't kick out of place all the time. It is a relatively heavier trigger pull, even though it is short stroked. If you come on over next to me, you'll understand what I mean. The reset is very short, as I talked about, and it takes a fair bit of pull to get that trigger to break, which is very nice for a designated marksman rifle. The stock and the cheek riser are really helpful, especially shooting with the scope on. It really makes the shooting mechanics very comfortable. Even for a gun that's a little bit on the heavier side, it's still relatively balanced as well. You really don't feel the gun driving you down. Overall, pretty interesting and fun gun to shoot. Let's go see the results. As you can see from the grouping here, a lot of it hit right in the middle. It's really not bad for something that's just fresh out of the box. There were a few that you can see that went off to the side. The recoil, if I said it had nothing to do with the accuracy or the inaccuracy, I'd be lying. It did affect a little bit, so you really had to take your time to line up your shots. But overall, the grouping was pretty tight. The Cybergun FN SCAR-H is certainly making a very convincing case for itself. However, there are a few small problems that stood out to me that kind of spoiled it a little bit. The first thing that I want to talk about is the takedown pin here that connects the lower and upper receiver. It is a very stiff pin. Even with the tools that I had, it took me a couple of hits before it came out, and putting it back was equally as annoying. The second thing is the hop up being so close to the lower receiver. If you're not careful, you're gonna scratch it time after time after time again. So that is a godsend that is so convenient and also a little bit of an annoyance. The last thing is the markings on the gun itself. Now, I know it is a necessary evil if you want to call it that, but being a fully licensed gun, I really just would have wished we didn't have those 6mm caliber and then the licensed by FN Herstal markings in there. I find it a little unnecessary. But those are small issues, very small, and if you ignore those small issues, you have a fantastic gun. Really good gas efficiency, the fit and finish is spot on. This is a really good gun, to be honest. The performance of this gun can only be rivaled by one other GBBR out there, and that is the awesome HK417. If you want to learn a little bit more about the HK417 GBBR, you can click right here for Tim's review.
Hey guys, Tim here of RedWolf TV. So here it is, the VFC HK417 licensed by Umarex.
With all that learned, can we answer the question, is this the definitive version of the SCAR-H? The answer is, drum roll please, yes, it absolutely is. And it's not just because it's the only fully licensed version out there, but rather on how this gun performs, feels, and shoots. So if you're that guy out there in your team that wants to be the designated marksman, you want a really good single fire yet gas efficient GBBR, this one is the one for you. So if you want cool products like this or many more, don't forget to visit our website at www.redwolfairsoft.com. I've been Mark, aka Blue Steel, and I'll catch you guys on another episode of RedWolf TV. Have a good one, guys.